everyone, it's Stephanie and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to bring you my Cozmas wrap-up. So for those of you that don't know, there was the 12 Days of Cozmas readathon hosted by Cortagonist and Lisa Latte Books, and that ran from December 1st through the 12th. There were 12 challenges, and you could double up on challenges or read 12 books, whatever you decided to do. So let's just jump right in. The first challenge was read a book with a romantic relationship, and for that I chose Merry and Bright by Debbie Maycomer. I did a full review for this, which I'll link, and I talked about this in my 'Tis the Season-a-thon wrap-up, but I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. It was a good time. It put me in the Christmas spirit, so I'm considering it a pretty good read. Next was read a book with baking and recreate the recipe, and I did not get to this one. Next is a character that is considered an outcast, and I was about to say I did not complete this challenge, but that would have been a big fat lie. I actually read The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, and there are a lot of outcasts in this book, but the one that comes to mind first is the character of Max, who is a Jewish refugee, and he is just a sweet, sweet cinnamon roll and such a good character. And this book just breaks me every time I read it. I've read it twice now, and it follows the story of Liesel and her friend Rudy and also Max, and it's set during the time of Hitler and when World War II was kind of beginning, and you know, Nazi patriotism was really starting to be the thing in Germany. And Liesel's life changes when she is at her brother's graveside and she finds an object partially buried in the snow, and it turns out to be the Gravedigger's Handbook. And she takes it home, and she and her foster father end up reading it so Liesel can learn how to read, and it spurned a love of books in her. And any opportunity she got, she would steal a book that she could take home and read, and they were just her most prized possessions. And the story goes so much deeper than that, but I just think it's something that you should go into and just let the story happen. And it is narrated by death, which is a very interesting concept, and I loved that. And the heartbreaking thing about this book is death tells you what is coming up, and there's nothing you can do to stop it, and it just breaks your heart every time. Like, the last 100 pages of this book, I was sobbing, and I think I cried for probably a good hour after that because it's just so good, but it's so heartbreaking, and I just want everyone to read this, and obviously I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Next is takes place during winter or with snow, and I read Merry and Bright. Number 5 was read a book with a lot of traveling, and I read The Polar Express by Chris Van Allsburg. Next is read a book with a sidekick, friend, or pet. Merry and Bright. Next is a book that I have been wanting to read, and I have been wanting to reread The Book Thief for a while, so I'm going to count this because it's just that amazing. Next is read a book with holiday scenes or settings, and for that I chose Holiday Grind by Cleo Coyle. This is a book in the Coffee House Mystery Series, and Claire Cozy owns the local coffee shop in the Upper East Side, and one day she stumbles upon a body of Santa, and it turns out that he was murdered, and she gets involved in solving the case, and it goes from there. And I love the Coffee House series because sometimes it can get a little like, really? But I love the coffee shop themes, and you can smell the coffee grinds while you're reading it. And she talks about all these really cool techniques on how to make different types of coffee drinks, and I love the characters in this book too. So definitely check out that series. Next was to read a wintry classic, The Polar Express. Next is read a book with diverse characters or situations, and for that I read Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. This follows a girl named Maya, and she would like to enter the competition to become the king's tailor. And so she actually, at the time, women were not allowed to be tailors. So she ends up going in her brother's place, kind of like in Mulan. She goes as a member of her family, and she goes through a series of tasks in order to compete and try to become the top tailor in order to win that coveted spot. And this was advertised as Mulan meets Project Runway, and I will agree to that to a certain point. The first half of this book was definitely Mulan meets Project Runway, and I thought it was so cool because the tasks that they made the tailors do were really cool. Like, they had to make a shawl, and which sounds so basic, but the way they did it was just so immaculate and over the top and magical. And so I really enjoyed that aspect of it. And the second part of the book takes a turn where it's more of a journey or a quest to get things for the last task in the competition, and things go from there. And I really enjoyed this. It was different, and I loved the setting and the world building, and I love that this was kind of Mulan inspired. That's one of my favorite Disney movies, and I love that this character is on this mission not for love, but for what she wants in life and for what's best for her family. So I definitely recommend you pick it up. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Next is read a book that would brighten someone's day, and I read The Cajun Night Before Christmas because it's fun and whimsical, and you can read it in a Cajun accent. Finally, read the first book in a series, and for that I read Spin the Dawn. The next book, Unravel the Dusk, comes out, I believe, in June of 2020, and I am highly anticipating the sequel because this ended on quite the cliffhanger. But that is my wrap up for the 12 Days of Cozmas. This was my second year participating, and as usual, I had so much fun. And I'm considering this a win because I read over half of the prompts. So I think that was pretty good considering the month I've had so far. But did you participate in the 12 Days of Cozmas? If so, let me know down below. And as always, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.